Going on, guys? Big news. KD has just been traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round picks, and a 2028 swap for Kevin Durant and TJ Warren as a throw-in as well.
Damn.
Holy man!
Damn.
This is
So no Ayton, huh?
This is game changing. No Ayton. Ayton will stay in Phoenix. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Kevin Durant, along with TJ Warren. So actually, a very solid pickup as well.
Warren back to the Suns.
So I mean, I think we got to start with the Suns. Like, how does this affect the West, man? Does this put them as, are they the favorites now? I would say so. I mean, adding Kevin Durant or Chris Paul and Ayton, I think that they're instantly the favorites.
How could they not be?
Yeah, I think this is such a great trade for the Suns, as now you're getting Durant for 3 years, and I think that's just
at 1 a.m.
At 1 a.m.
At 1 a.m.
Eastern Standard Time. Mikal Bridges. Now for the Nets side. Actually, we'll get to the Nets side. Let's talk about the Suns.
Let's talk about the Suns. More interesting.
I think when it comes to the Suns now, you now have Chris Paul at point guard, Devin Booker at shooting guard, Kevin Durant at power forward, Ayton at center, and your choice of probably TJ Warren at the 3.
Maybe a buyout guy.
My guess. I think that it's very possible. They did lose a lot of depth in this. Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, obviously.
Like, Jay Crowder hasn't played and Cam Johnson's been hurt, so it's really
it's just Mikal and picks. But it is a lot of picks. It is a historic load of picks. Talking about 4 first-round picks and a 2028 swap, with potentially more, what we may find out later. It could be just astronomical.
Did the protections come out
return
or no?
It doesn't look like there's. It looks like they're all unprotected.
Holy shit!
But we don't know. And I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you're all getting 13-time All-Star Kevin Durant.
All right. So what does this do for the Suns this year?
I mean, what does it not do for this? I mean, this is everything. This is their all-in move. We're pushing all the chips in now. We have 3 years of Kevin Durant. We can hope that Chris Paul can be a very serviceable point guard, and you just hope, and then obviously Booker, and you have your best chance. You have the coach you want, and I mean, like, it does everything with the Suns, to answer your question.
Right. You don't think this depth thing is going to be a problem?
Well, I think it could be a problem, but I do think overall they do have the guys to help back up. One name that is still there that I think would be a great, solid player is Torrey Craig. I think that's a guy that you can plug in, and they're really lucky to have a guy like that.
Maybe at the 4.
You lose Mikal, you lose. I mean, I know Jay didn't play, but you lose Jay, you lose Cam Johnson, who maybe didn't play last season, but he was really good when he did play. You're losing this wing depth, but now you can fill it in a little bit with Torrey Craig. Landry Shamit's a good shooter. Cameron Payne's a good backup point guard. Jock Lawndale's been a little bit of a revelation this year. These are guys that you hope can step in and just be impact players right away. I mean, there's other guys here like Damian Lee, and Dario Saric as well. But I think overall, I think they have enough depth to be not totally just all starters and the bench is just terrible. I think they do have a little bit. TJ Warren does help. If I'm being honest, I don't think they're gonna make another move this offseason, but I do think that.
Well, offseason. What you're saying offseason? What about trade deadline? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant to say in the trade deadline, I don't see them making a move. Maybe in the offseason they may
marginal
the bench.
If there is one.
I think but like you said before, I think it's very possible that the buyout market. They could look for the buyout market.
Kevin Love, maybe.
Yeah. Now, I think, like, offensively, when we look at Phoenix, I think this does a lot. I mean, you talk about the spacing in Phoenix. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. I mean, TJ Warren as well is a decent shooter.
Wow,
you still have Landry Shamet.
That's a big
you could
man.
You could actually go and put out Landry Shamet if you want, and then Ayton at the 5. Like, that's a great.
That's a big 4. That's a big 4.
I mean, it is. It's a huge 4. I mean, I don't know, like, what team in the West can stop this, because you have the spacing, you have the shot creation, you have the playmaking, you have maybe the best playmaker of all time, or one of the best playmakers of all time, as well as one of the best, as well as having all the shooting and shot creation, and you have like you have these guys coming in who can just be really really good impact players. I think this it puts the Suns over the edge for me, and I do have. Granted, it goes well, and everybody and Katie can come back healthy, of course. The other thing to talk about is Katie's health concerns. But I think this granted health concerns. I think they are now the favorites to come out of the Western Conference.
Yeah, so KD is on pace to return after the All-Star break, and
Okay.
the Suns are actually the 5th seed right now. So KD comes back. They're
Well,
sitting, they're
I
sitting
don't
in
think
a
they're
good
gonna go
spot.
higher than 3. Sorry to cut you off, but I don't think they're gonna go higher than 3.
So they're only a game and a half behind Sacramento at 3.
Right.
So if they can stay out of the play-in, any first round matchup they play, they're gonna dominate. If
I,
they're
I
if they're
think
healthy.
a 3 seed would be very good for them. I think a 3 seed is very realistic, and I think that's really good for them.
I think they'd
Now,
be fine with 5-4
yeah,
if they could stay top
yeah,
5.
I think even if they just, I think they'll avoid the play-in though, almost
Oh yeah,
definitely.
I mean,
I think there's a very good chance that that they could actually you know they could actually just stomp the West and become like the 3rd seed, and they roll from there. 3rd seeds historically do pretty well in the playoffs, especially recently from recent memory. So I think that would be very realistic for them. I think that's what they should be targeting. I don't think they need to target winning every game, try to get that 1 seed. Now, I want to talk before we move on to the Nets. I want to talk a little bit about the defensive hit that they do get in
oh
this
yeah,
trade, because ultimately we do know that Kevin Durant is not the same defender that he once was with the Golden State Warriors, where he was almost a deep boy candidate. However,
all defensive
ever
team.
since his injury, he just hasn't been the same. So, and you're losing maybe if you're losing one of the best wing defenders in all of basketball, right? In McAlbridge. So, how do you think that the defense is going to hold up now with Kevin Durant?
So they're gonna have to rely on guys like Landry Shamet and Torrey Craig.
Torrey Craig, TJ Warren.
Torrey Craig's probably gonna be playing 30 minutes a game.
Yeah,
So
he's going to be huge. He has to be huge for them.
he might get the spot at the 4 for now.
Yeah,
Maybe the bio market. I have to look over some of the guys that are gonna be on it, but it's hard to find like wings in this league. Like
it's true.
if they would have got, if I saw they were trying to get Rui, that would have been perfect.
That
Rui
would
and
have been
KD,
perfect.
but I don't know. I think there's a couple moves they can make. I haven't really looked into it, like what the Suns could do.
Right, at the end of the day, this is a raw reaction, so we're not
Yeah,
here to put in
and so,
complete
all right.
thought.
So this just came out.
Oh,
Picks are
that's
unprotected.
2023, 2025, 2027, 2029, and then the 2028 swap. So that's good.
So how old is KD gonna be in 2029?
You really want to know
He's
this
gonna
answer?
be 40. And how old is Chris Paul gonna be?
He's gonna be out of the league by then.
Yeah, no.
Well, then I think at that point you hope that you can get like another point guard or something, but that's we're looking too far into it. I think we should move on now from the Suns, talk a little bit about the Nets side, although it is less interesting. I find this move very shocking. I did not have this on my bingo card,
Yeah.
even though Kyrie did request a trade. I still didn't think this would happen until at least the offseason. Because if I'm the Nets, I would rather mull through more options.
Well,
than just
before we get into that, now this Kyrie trade, the Kyrie package that they ended up taking makes absolutely no sense.
why?
They could have gotten 2 unprotected Lakers picks, but instead they trade for Spencer Dinwiddie in 3 years of Dorian Finney-Smith.
Right. So that makes me think more of do you think that Katie most likely probably went to the front office and said, "I don't want to be here no more."
But
And then they're probably all
they're
right.
saying that KD helped pick that package.
But it's so strange to me why this would happen then. I think we're gonna find out a lot more tomorrow. I think it's a little,
I wonder
Well,
if
I
he demanded
think
a trade and said he'd sit. It's got to be something like that.
possible. We'll have to find out tomorrow. But yeah, before we do end this, I do want to talk a little bit about the Nets side of it. Not necessarily the Kyrie trade, but the KD side of it. I do think they got a pretty good haul back. I think you got some guys back that you can help build around, or could be future trade chips. And also you got a Rudy Gobert-esque haulback, and in today's NBA market is rare, especially since that trade has gone so poorly, to get a trade haul like that. So I think that that's probably maybe why they made that trade too, is they're just a little scared that because of the market right now, that's probably the best they could do. So I think they did get a good pick equity back as well as good role players back. However, I do think that they probably will be waiving Jay Crowder, or they're gonna try to figure him out, try to find him a home.
Yeah, it's not too
A third
late for a
team.
third team. You get what is it, 24 hours? Find a third team,
Yeah,
something
I
like
mean,
that.
you do,
So I
yeah,
mean,
for the
there's
trade
still the
deadline.
rest of the deadline. I mean, the Bucks probably take him in a heartbeat for nothing. You know,
Yeah, I I think that ultimately the Nets now progress into this rebuilding phase. It's gonna be hard without their own picks, but I mean, it kind of. I mean, this is it. This is the end of an era in Brooklyn. This was the end. One of their second blown up big three team in less than a decade, and it's crazy to
insanity,
think about that.
insanity.
It's from trading all those picks to get Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and all that to being the worst team in the league for years to having this really young core with D'Angelo Russell and everything to now to then trading for to then signing KD, signing Kyrie, trading for James Harden, and then being so close but having injury problems and it all just kind of falling apart. And now they don't have their picks. They have other teams' picks, but they don't have their own picks. And I mean, at least this time around they got something out of it. Last time, those guys were too old to really get much out of them.
Yeah,
This time, at least they got something out of it. But still, it's just gonna be unfortunately probably a few dark years in Brooklyn, and possibly Sean Marks could get fired. I mean, I wouldn't put that out of the question.
building
And I think
around Mikal
now,
Bridges.
yeah, I mean, I could see him being in trade ship similar to OG Anunoby. They're going to be looking for probably 2 to 3 first round picks, probably not this year, probably in the off season or in the future.
Like
But I think
just
going forward, I mean, they're going to have to start from scratch. I mean, who do you have? I mean, Cam Thomas has been popping off recently, but other than that, you don't really have much of young talent in Brooklyn. So it's gonna become very interesting
just
what
think
happens
about
there. But
how a year ago we were talking about it was Harden to the Nets. Or I mean,
yeah,
or no, it was 2 years ago. My bad. So last year he was traded to the Sixers, but 2 years ago we were talking about this big three, and then it turns out all three of them requested trade, and now they're
I
all
want
gone.
yeah, and
All
I
three are
do think
gone.
that there's gonna be some big changes in Brooklyn. I mean, there has to be, and I think it all kind of started with. I think the downfall of the team all actually started with the firing of Kenny Atkinson, and kind of
Yep.
spiraled into what it became. And it's unfortunate because they were playing so well with as of recently, right before Kyrie, requested a trade and Katie got hurt. Like, they were playing very good basketball, being one of the scarier teams in the
Nine out of
league. And
10. One 9 out of 10.
all of like I mean, a couple weeks ago, I thought that they were potentially a big threat in the East. Honestly, they were
Absolutely.
becoming a bigger. Honestly, they were a bigger threat than Cleveland and Miami, and other than Milwaukee. I'm sorry, Milwaukee, Boston, and Philly. I didn't really see them. They were like probably the fourth team. They were really right there in the mix, and it's just very surprising how it all just unraveled so quickly. But yeah, it's mind blowing that this all happened. I cannot believe that Kevin Durant is a Phoenix Sun, and I still even can't believe that Kyrie Irving is a Dallas Maverick. So it's wow, what a trade deadline this has become.
They
Am
were
I
saying it
right?
was looking like it was going to be the slowest in years, and then two
It,
top
yeah,
15 players get traded,
because I mean it was. I
and then
mean
a former
they were saying.
MVP gets traded. You know,
I mean the biggest trade was supposed to be an OG and Anunoby trade, which I mean OG's a really good player and all, but I mean he's no KD obviously,
yeah,
no Kyrie. Um, I'm just very surprised that those guys got traded and that just happened.
this trade deadline,
It's,
man.
I mean, and once again, we must ask, where are the Knicks? Why are they not in the trade?
Wait. They made a trade.
They did make a trade for Josh Hart. This is
Talk
about.
about that
Listen,
briefly. Talk about that
we can
briefly.
talk about. I mean, it's cool for them. Josh Hart's a really good player. Tibbs is gonna play him 80 minutes a game. We know how this goes, right?
Ah,
So,
absolutely. He's gonna be his favorite player, bro.
yeah.
I think he's
Shout
on
out
that
Jakob
max
Pertl
extension.
for getting traded too.
Jakob
Just
Pertl.
randomly, he's gonna that'll be an underrated trade, but
Boosts his
for the
ego. He
Raptors.
gets traded for a first. It probably boosted the fuck out of his ego. You
I mean,
know?
he's pretty good.
Yeah, first and 2 seconds is crazy.
I mean, and I think going for, I mean, the trade line still isn't over. I mean, obviously nothing will be as big as Kevin Durant unless like Giannis gets traded,
AD
which
gets traded.
obviously, yeah, no. I don't think anything quite as big will happen. But I still think that there will be many more moves made tomorrow. I think there will be at least there will be minimum one Raptors player, and I'm not talking about Thad Young for the Jakob Pearl trade. There'll be definitely another Raptors trade, and there'll be a couple other trades here and there, and it'll be very interesting to see how things shake up. I still think the Bucks are gonna make a trade. I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers make a trade. Boston might make a trade. They may actually just stay packed though. I don't know. I think there's still like a lot of contenders that are gonna make like little borderline trades, and
Hornets or
you know,
Sellers. I mean, Lakers
I
still
mean
want to
maybe
get rid of Pat Bev and Lonnie.
yeah. I still think there's a lot that could happen,
Yeah.
but I mean, holy what a night,
Well, last
man.
year there were 15 trades on the day of the deadline. So.
Yeah, I guess this is the day of the deadline though. It's
Oh
1
yes,
a.m.
this is one. This is one.
Yeah, this is. I mean, wow, all within such a tight time span. Kyrie Irving's traded, Russell Westbrook, and Mike Conley, Kevin
D'Angelo Russell.
Durant, Mikal Bridges, D'Angelo. Yeah. All right, I think this is gonna conclude it. The NBA is in a scramble right now. I cannot believe that just happened, and this is Two Ball signing off.
Peace.